Hey all, this is Eucep again, and today we're having a look at Gundam Astray Mirage frame. This is an awesome kit. It's a 1:100 scale version of one of my more favorite Gundam kits, which would be my Red Frame Astray. It even includes the same huge ass katana, but in a paint scheme which I really like. Okay, I changed some of the paint work on this guy for the simple reason I did not like the pinkish purple which was his chest and feet. I really decided to go with the black, which is pretty much the default color for pretty much all of the Astray mobile suits. And well, I think altogether it was a good choice. I added a slight metallic look to the black, and much more customization was not really needed to make it the way I really wanted to look. Painted up the katana, I painted up the sheet. There's actually a name for this katana. I'll have to look it up for a moment. The katana is named Ameno Habakiri. Ameno Habakiri. I might have to put that in the description below the video. This is pretty much the default Astray frame, but it has some slight modifications, which are downright awesome. Alright, so let's have a look at what these modifications are. Well, first of all, you can see the weird head. You can see some blades. You can see some blades at the ankles. That's because he has an alternate mode. This is default mode, and he also has a gladiator mode. If I'm not mistaken, this mode is actually named the librarian mode. I'll have to look up again. My apologies for that. Let's see, what does it say? Alright, this is the commander mode. Oh, still sounds nice. Here I actually can show you. This is pretty much the color it would have been, instead of the black which I made it to be. Alright. Now let's have him transform. First of all, let's take off his hand. You can leave on the hand for the transformation, but I find it looks better without the hand, so I take it off entirely. Same on this side. I have a hand specifically made to hold the sheet. Actually prefer to remove it entirely. Also, the polycap holding onto this really cannot hold it. So just remove it, put this back in place. Now for his transformation to gladiator mode, you start off with his feet. Tilt up the foot. This part locks into here and rotates around. Repeat on the other side. Right. Now for the arms, rotate them around, fold in and fold out. Same on the other side. Fold in, fold out. So as you notice, he becomes a tiny bit taller in this mode. And for the final part, you rotate around his head. Yes, it's as cheesy as that. you rotate around his head and there is a secondary head on the back of his normal head. And you're left with probably one of the most ludicrous looking Gundams I've ever seen. And this thing is from the librarian or something. I really don't see a librarian in this, honestly. Actually, I'm really not fond of this head mold. It looks interesting, but let's have a closer look of this head. It's just freaky looking, to say the least. But the fun part is this kit comes with some spare parts from the original mold, which is the same as the 1:100 scale red frame and for a big part the blue frame. So just let's leave him there. Let's take this head, remove the front, then you can pull loose the front of the face, then separate and pull out the normal face, remove the polycap, and this we're going to put to the side. Then you take in these parts, which are of the original, and put it back together like the normal head. Put on the purple V-fin. And replace it. And now we have a slightly bit more, well, semi-normal looking purple version of the red frame, though with huge blades on both arms and feet. I'm somewhat tempted to try and paint the blade in something of an aluminum or metal silver or whatever, though on none of the box art is this even shown as having been changed color. It's everywhere, it's just purple, so I'm somewhat doubting on modifying it. And modifying it on these feet blades, well, that's an entirely different cookie to try and do. Let's put him a bit back, because there are more parts besides these loose parts of his head. You also have, well, the scabbard holding hand, which you saw earlier. He has another normal hand, which is for holding one of his beam sabers. He has a gun holding hand, and appropriately there's also a gun. This gun also needed to be painted because, well, in all illustrations it's dark, and yeah, it came out as that pinkish purple. And really that looked horrid, but I didn't really finish it up because I don't really intend to ever use this. So yeah, it's just the normal gun, the default gun of all the Astrays. Then you have a default shield, also the same as all the others, and once again the main part I've changed to black, which was originally that pinkish purple as well. And of course a handle and an arm grip to add it on. I'm not really sure what these parts are from, but they are pretty much, besides some polycaps, the only spare parts left on the sprues. I have no idea where they are from. I think they are from the shoulders, but I'm not sure. But they're pretty much the only parts not used. And you get a pair of beam sabers, and the handles of course are on the back. You simply plug them out and put them in. The Mirage frame, in my opinion, one of the more silly kits, as I said, but he's looking incredibly interesting. I can highly recommend getting him. And there's a good chance he's at a sale at Hobbylink Japan, because they don't seem to be able to get rid of him, despite being quite an excellent mold. Let's have a look at his articulation, which is pretty much the default for a Gundam Astray kit. Also, these just plug in into polycaps, so you can, if you want, remove these without an issue. For the rest of the articulation, just a single ball joint in the neck. The shoulders move backwards and forwards, slightly up and down, rotation at the shoulder. There's a rotation separate of the shoulder, but not much. They usually move as one rotation here. Single bend, but this single bend is incredibly good. It's just a single bend, yet you can see it nearly folds double. There is a swivel in the wrist part, and the polycapped hands can press in somewhat for a tighter look, or press out a bit for more freedom. That's all the way for how you like it. The waist rotates, but also, as you can see, swivels slightly backwards and forwards and side to side, but it's not much. The backpack does detach, or at least somewhat, and can be placed down, but I don't really know what the use is for this. I think it's for flight mode, but it's one of those things, due to not having seen the series at all, that I don't really know what to do with them. As I said, the waist rotates. There are no real skirt parts besides the side parts, which can move up and down and rotate, but they barely get in the way anyway. The hips on ball joints, they are somewhat limited in how far they can spread, despite being quite good ball joints. They can move forward and backward as far as the plastic allows for. The knee bends pretty much the entire way. There's no moving parts in it, but still, it can do nearly full bend. In this mode, the ball joint is completely free. Same for when the feet are in normal mode. It's just incredibly good articulation even in the feet. So you can pretty much do with it as you please. No. I think this is a highly recommendable kit. Get it if you want it. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.